Wow. What are they gonna change next? This is uh this is starting to become embarrassing. Wow. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Tirade TV. Glad you can all join me once again. If you like this type of content, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. All comments are welcome as long as it's tasteful and respectful. You know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. I saw an article today that made me think about, from a Christian perspective, we're basically telling God that what He created is not good enough, that He made some kind of mistake some way, somehow, that we know more than He does, right? When I saw this article here, I was just like, wow. According to this Fox News article here, Cambridge Dictionary changes definition of man and woman. 1984 wasn't supposed to be a how-to manual. One commentator argued the Cambridge Dictionary is ceding linguistic territory to the radical left. Goes on to say, Cambridge Dictionary is being criticized by conservatives on social media for altering the definitions of the words man and woman to include people who identify as a gender other than their biological sex. The definition of woman, which previously represented the long-standing view on sex, now states that a woman is, quote, an adult who lives and identifies as a female, though they may have been said to have a different sex at birth, unquote. Similarly, a man is now defined as an adult who lives and identifies as a male, though they may have been said to have a different sex at birth. This change was met with pushback from many who argued that redefining society's categorization of gender and sex is harmful and inaccurate. Quote, Cambridge Dictionary just dropped a new definition of woman, unquote, Christopher Rufo, a fellow at the Manhattan Institute, tweeted. And you can see his tweet right here. Um, it pretty much shows, for those who listen on the podcast, it pretty much shows, basically he took a little screenshot of the definitions that they have in the Cambridge Dictionary. Wow. Gave some examples. You know how they do in the dictionary, they do give some examples of the particular word or phrase in a sentence. The one that's showing here is she was first trans woman. She was the first trans woman elected to a national office. Mary is a woman who was assigned male at birth. Yeah, this is it's just getting more and more evil as we go along here in this world right now. Uh, Rufo also pointed out that the dictionary used the pronoun quote unquote they to describe the subject rather than she. Quote, notice that the dictionary writers say they may have been. They couldn't bring themselves to write she may have been because they know they're lying. That's the tale, unquote, he tweeted. Goes on to say, ceding linguistic territory to the radical left, what could go wrong? Conservative commentator Rita Panahi wrote. Yeah, what could go wrong with that? Because it seems like they're in charge. It seems as though they're in charge of everything. It seems that way. Daily Caller writer Mary Rook wrote, quote, effing traitors to the truth. Cambridge Dictionary is only the latest. If we don't stop them from erasing women, our civilization is not going to make it, unquote. Adam Brooks, a British social commentator, questioned whether women are happy with the change. Quote, oh wow, the at Cambridge Words Dictionary definition of woman is shocking. How did we get here? Surely women aren't happy with this, he wrote. So yeah, in his you can see there his Twitter there kind of shows the same thing the other one does, just the definition that they have in the Cambridge Dictionary. Same examples. Yeah, this is getting crazy. This is getting insane. Dan McLaughlin, a senior writer at National Review, argued the change is Orwellian. Quote, 1984 wasn't supposed to be a how-to manual, unquote, he tweeted. Yeah, I do see a lot of similarities in that that movie, that I think is a movie, a book, or whatever. I saw the movie, but you could see where they were going, and they were probably trying to tell us then what was going to happen in the future, what they're going to try to do in the future. But we thought at the time, or those who were old enough to watch it at the time probably thought it was just a movie. But yeah, this is let's see, President of Judicial Watch Tom Fitton tweeted, quote, "War on women, update," unquote. Yeah, then they have a photo here of trans woman Leah Thomas prepares to swim. So yeah, that's just another example of how they're trying to destroy, I would say, what God has created. And as I said in the opening statement, they're basically saying that what God has created is not enough. Everyone always wants to improve on what God created. You know, they're trying to improve on men. They're trying to improve on women, children. They try to do it with animals. They try to do it with the weather. They try to do it with everything. Trees, whatever. They're always trying to make improvements. Not knowing that what God has made, you know, there are no improvements to be made. He made it, He fashioned it the way He wanted it to be. And every time we try to make improvements on what God created, it turns out worse. In a sense, it's like we're not worshiping the Creator, we're worshiping the creation. Which, if you think about it, let's not even look at it from a biblical perspective. Just a common sense perspective. The Creator has more power and more authority and more know-how and more knowledge and wisdom than the creation. Think about that. But yet we would rather worship the creation. Now, what sense does that make? Just saying. That's my rant on that. It's like there's so many. It's just demonic spirits all up in that. Just demons wrapped all up in that. Anytime you start changing what God has created, anytime you start trying to change man to woman, woman to man, make a genderless society, whatever you want to call it, yes, that is demonic. I don't care who hears this and get upset with me. It is what it is. That is demonic. Anyway, that's my rant on that. What do you all think about this? Um, Let me know in the comments. It's getting pretty pitiful out here. I'm telling you. It's You just shake your head every time you see something like that, and just continue to pray about it. And hopefully, we're raising our kids right the way we should, so they'll know right from wrong, good from bad, good from evil. You know, that's what we can do, and try not to let them, take in too much of mainstream media or certain things at school. Because I'm pretty sure I know that there are a lot of schools or school districts, supporting this. Another thing that I saw today is I actually looked on CNN's website. Very rarely do I ever do, but I've heard a lot about R. Kelly, what he's, I guess, convicted of doing. Bill Cosby, what he was convicted of doing, later released, accused of doing, whatever. But one name I hadn't heard in a while was Harvey Weinstein. And until I looked at this CNN article earlier today, and they're actually doing something, are talking about Harvey Weinstein. It says a Los Angeles jury heads to an 8-day of deliberations in Harvey Weinstein's second sexual assault trial. Goes on to say a Los Angeles jury will head into its 8th day of deliberations Tuesday in the second sexual assault trial of Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced movie mogul accused of using his Hollywood influence to lure women into private meetings and assault them. The jury has deliberated for a total of about 28 hours as of Monday and ended the day with no verdict. They are set to return Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. local time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Weinstein awaits a decision from behind bars, facing 2 counts of forcible rape and 5 counts of sexual assault involving 4 women: a model, a dancer, a massage therapist, and a producer. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges against him. So, when I see that model, where it says a model, a dancer, a massage therapist, and a producer, obviously I'm assuming these. Well, yeah, it says they were all women, and it just lets me know that we need to teach our kids, train our kids, um, to not be anxious for nothing. Like the Bible clearly tells us not to be anxious for nothing. So I think he's basically catching people that he think are desperate for fame and fortune, are desperate to have a certain role or whatever, and he's basically trying to take advantage of them. But here's the thing: if you're not desperate, if you're not anxious, if you go to God in prayer, those things do not happen. Those things don't happen. It's always the desperate person or the anxious person that get caught up in that. Now, I don't know how far he went with these 4 women here. Obviously, I think it says a couple of counts of a forcible rape, so that means he probably went too far. But that's all information I have on it right here. What the CNN article says here. But it goes to show that we need to train our kids in the way they should go, right? So they won't be so desperate or anxious to put themselves in situations like this. And not saying that this is what these women did. These women probably going in here thinking that they were going to a legitimate meeting. But that's all. That's just based on the information I have right now. I don't know what else happened. It doesn't, maybe the rest of the article, which I will read in a little bit, but I'm not going to get into right now. Let's put it that way. But I'll leave the link in the description. But you can't be desperate. We see all of these, so-called movie stars or so-called celebrities, and you see your Beyoncés and your Jay-Z's and your Kevin Harts and Taylor Swifts and people like that, and immediately you probably think that, oh, I would love to be where they are or have what they have. Here's the thing: we don't know how many favors they've had to perform in order to get where they are. Not saying that they're not talented, because you can see each one of them, they're talented. They have a gift. I believe they have a gift from God, but they're using it for evil. That's just my opinion. But you can see that they're gifted, they're talented, but you don't know what favors they've had to perform in order to get where they are. Because let's be honest, everyone that has a great voice doesn't make it to a Beyonce or Taylor Swift level. You see what I mean? Everyone that has the so-called the look doesn't get to Beyonce's level. Every lyricist does not get to Jay-Z's level or Diddy's level. They don't get to that level. And you could say hard work and all of that, but we pretty much know that there's something extra that gets them to that level. Like you can see Kevin Hart, who I think, in my opinion, just my opinion, is not half as funny as Dave Chappelle. Just my opinion. But over the past, let's say 5 or 6 years, I'm pretty sure he's made more money than Dave Chappelle. That's because Dave Chappelle, he will only go so far with the favors. If he go for him at all. I see people like maybe like The Rock. He seemed like one of those people who would probably do certain favors. Not saying, it's just my opinion. Not saying he has. I don't have no evidence that he has. I'm just saying, in my opinion, it seemed like he would. But that's what these 4 women were. That's what Harvey Weinstein was basically, I guess, offering these 4 women, certain roles or positions or whatever in return for favors, and more than likely, since you see rape here, whatever, sexual favors, right? We need to understand that this so-called Hollywood industry and the music industry is surrounded, in my opinion, by evil. They don't care about anyone but themselves. They don't care about anything but the industry itself. They don't care who they hurt, who they cheat on, who they lie to. They don't care. This is another example of someone in the industry trying to take advantage of someone else. And as I said, this is just what I see in the article. I don't know anything else. Maybe I may dig into it a little further. All I know is that I heard a lot about R. Kelly. I heard a lot about Bill Cosby. And I just heard a very little bit about Harvey Weinstein. Maybe they're waiting, for the trial. I even heard a lot about Michael Jackson. I've heard more about Michael Jackson since he's passed away than I have Harvey Weinstein, and he's still living. That's why I brought this up, because I don't know why. Maybe they're trying to wait until you know all the trials and everything are over, but just didn't understand why they didn't put this guy's name with the rest of them. But regardless, if they all did what they were accused of doing or convicted of doing, they're wrong, and they should get what they deserve. I'm talking about all of them. But what do you think about this? I mean, what do you think we should be teaching our daughters and our kids? Should we be teaching them to, be very careful, have your spiritual eyes open, have a spiritual discernment, be aware of the people you're working around, working with? That would be my thing. Anyways, I guess you can say that's my second rant of the day. That's just what was on my mind when I saw the article. When I saw the CNN article here, and I looked at the photo there, and I saw Harvey Weinstein. That's the first thing that popped in my mind. Like, where's this guy been? Haven't heard this guy in a while. I haven't heard anything on this guy in a while. Maybe I've just been missing the story and we're not paying attention. I don't know. Could be. Because I don't look at, I don't read or watch CNN that much. Maybe they have been talking about it. Also, one more thing before I let you all go. I'm looking at this. I don't know if you all go to the Patriot Post website. They have a lot of interesting articles in there. Articles that we need to read so we can get more information. As I always say, do your own research. Doing your own research does not mean just going to one, publication or one mainstream media outlet and let that be it. No, you read all of them, right? And I saw this here, and my first thought was, wow. It says the high price of shoplifting. Rising crime in Democrat-controlled cities has everything to do with the left's soft on crime policies. Every American bears the cost of unchecked crime. Money, after all, doesn't grow on trees. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon. Actually a pretty cool sounding name though, if that's his name. Doug McMillon. He's probably a millionaire. And his name is McMillion. Anyways, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon recently warned that the big box retailer is seriously considering closing several of its stores in high crime locations. Quote, theft is an issue, unquote, McMillion explained. Quote, it's higher than what it has historically been. We've got safety measures, security measures that we've put in place by store location, unquote. He further noted that having a well-staffed law enforcement is key to maintaining the security necessary for his stores to operate safely. Quote, I think law enforcement being staffed and being a good partner is part of that equation, and that's normally how we approach it, unquote, McMillan. See, now here it says McMillan doesn't have one of the I's there, so I'm not for sure exactly how to pronounce this guy's name. Quote, if that's not corrected over time, prices will be higher and our stores will close, unquote. Over the last 2+ years, since Democrats shut down the country and then provoked rioting over George Floyd, Spiking crime in longtime Democrat-run urban areas like San Francisco and New York City has increasingly led to retailers taking action to protect their wares, with some stores like Walgreens closing down shops completely in the troubled areas. People still shop at Walgreens. I mean, I know people may go there for medication, but as far as like shopping, I don't know, maybe so. Much of the rising crime can be laid at the feet of leftists, whose soft on crime policies have effectively decriminalized crimes like shoplifting. In the Bay Area of California, city ordinances have essentially eliminated prosecution for thefts of less than $1,000 thanks to the downgrading of the crime to a mere misdemeanor. So I'm trying to figure out how that works. So if someone commits a theft or steals something that's less than $1,000, is it that they can do that many times and they'll get basically each one to be downgraded to a misdemeanor, or do they add up? Or do each time they get let's say $900, do they eventually add it all together till it gets over a certain amount? I'm not for sure how that quite works there. Because I'm thinking, what would be stopping someone from going and steal $900 worth of products here, 900 there, and then go somewhere else and steal another 900 and keep doing that? So do they add it all together as one, or do they take it case by case and separate all of them and have each one of them become a mere misdemeanor? I don't know. I'm not the law student. I'm not a lawyer or an attorney, so I'm not really sure. Also not a criminal. This ordinance has resulted in roving smash and grab gangs, and stores are left helpless to stop the rampant theft and destruction of their property. The Target retail chain has observed the same crime-based losses. CFO Michael Fidelki noted that so far this year, the franchise has recorded over $400 million in losses, which is expected to top out at $600 million. Target CEO Brian Cornell added that he had, quote, seen a significant increase in theft and organized retail crime across our business, unquote. Let me stop right there for a second. These names that they're giving here, I just have a question. Walmart CEO Doug McMillan or McMillan, forgive me if I mispronounce your name there. Also, Target CFO Michael Fidelki, and the Target CEO Brian Cornell. I will have one question to ask you all. Who did you vote for? Who did you donate to? Which political party did you donate to? Was it one or the other? Both maybe? I don't know. Because sometimes you have some donate a lot to one party and just a little to the other. But I don't know. Maybe we should research. Maybe I should research that. I just have a strange feeling though. This is just me, my opinion, just a feeling that the CEO of Walmart, the CEO, and the CFO of Target probably voted and donated to the Democratic Party. Yes, the Democrat Party. I have a feeling that's what they did. So if you supported that party and donated to that party, don't complain, because you're supporting the same system that they're encouraging, the same system they're setting into place, a system of crime. Don't complain now. I'm pretty sure you CEOs and CFOs of all you major retail chains, you have influence, political influence in every city, every state, all across this country, even in all across the world for the most part, wherever your store is located. And you more than likely chose to vote for these people. You more than likely chose to support these people, fund or donate to these people. You all probably chose that. I'm just assuming. Maybe I'm wrong. I am wrong occasionally. So forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's just a feeling that I have based on the policies and the beliefs and the ideology of your and the actions of your so-called businesses or stores or whatever. It leads me to believe that you all support the Democrat Party. Don't complain, because they're in there partially because you all put them there. Now it's hurting your pockets. Now you want someone to feel sorry for you. The only people I feel sorry for in this situation are the people who just wanted to go shop with their families, and they have to, be aware at all times, so they won't get jacked or mugged or robbed. You know, you want to say outside the store, but in some of these places it could be happening right in the store. Those are the people I feel sorry for. But you CEOs and CFOs and you idiots running around out here doing smash and grabs and all of these things, I don't feel sorry for any of you. I really don't. Don't complain now. See, they want everyone to feel sorry for them. I wonder how sorry they felt for the smaller businesses that got shut down or put out of business during 2020 when they were reporting or recording record profits. Did they feel sorry for the smaller businesses then? Nah, they didn't. I wonder how many of them supported George Floyd. I wonder how many of these places supported BLM. Just a question. Not saying if they did or they didn't. I'm just asking a question. I have the right to ask a question, right? I mean, I think this is still a free country in America. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't feel sorry for any of these people. And I don't like the fact that they seem like they're coming off complaining about something that they're a huge part of. I would say they're somewhat, maybe just as responsible for all of this as these leftist cities and these leftist politicians. Believe it or not, Walmart has a major influence in this country, financially, politically. Same thing for Target. So don't complain. Anyways, that's how I feel about that. What do you all think? Have you all seen these, things in your area at these stores or any other stores for that matter? Smash and grabs, uh, robberies, jackings, carjackings, you know, uh, theft, people coming in, just stealing from the store, breaking into the stores at night. You know, there were some people doing it, especially back in 2020. They were calling it reparations. But I guess that's my third rant of the day. So we'll leave it at that. I'll leave the links to these articles in the description. I didn't read all the article to you. I didn't want to bore you, but I'll leave the links in the article or in the description. And also, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I love comments. I love reading them. I'll try my best to reply back to all of them. And please support the channel by going to TyradeTV.com, purchase a t-shirt, a hoodie, support a fellow patriot, support someone who loves America, support someone who loves God, support someone who loves freedom. And please go download the podcast. It's on all major podcast platforms. When you see this handsome face right here, you know you're in the right place. Tyrade TV. And as always, we must be a praying people and a praying nation. God bless.